Kia ora, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. So today we're dealing with chapter 1 of this Black Widow Red by Dawn, chapter 1, quest 2. Excuse me, I've got like morning brain. So this is the team that we took in, and there's a couple of actually tricky fights on this path, not just the boss, but there's a mini boss before that, which is Taskmaster. Now Taskmaster has adaptive, running on fumes, and mirror image, and shrug one. So basically, if you're close to him, he's going to give you a fatigue debuff, which is great if you have willpower, because you can actually regen off that buff. The second thing is when you get to a bar power, he's going to basically give you like a power lock, sorry, not a power lock, a power sting, which means that if you throw the special straight away, or then you're going to take damage. The best thing to do is to wait for 6 seconds until that power lock disappears, and then you can throw your specials. Also, he has resistors, so it takes a lot of time to do damage to him. Now, the other thing that people might not know about Taskmaster is once you have 10 debuffs on him, he goes debuff immune completely for the rest of the fight. So you can't parry him anymore, so you're basically playing him stun immune. And also you can't add any more debuffs. So I've taken Void in here, and what's going to happen here is I'm going to get to about, I've got to about 5 of my debuffs, Petrify and Fatigue and all that stuff. And I've also done 5 parries. So now he's going to go stun immune, and I can no longer build any more of those debuffs or get to Fear of the Void or anything like that. So just bear that in mind. But the good thing is that those buffs are now locked, at least with Void. But just bear that in mind. So if you're thinking of bringing someone like a bleeder, like Archangel or Wolverine, and that after a while he's going to go debuff immune. With Archangel or Gwenpool, I'm not sure if the ability accuracy reduction will work, because I feel like this ability is immune to ability accuracy reduction. But with Archangel, if you can get a few neurotoxins on right at the start, maybe it can shut it down. And Gwenpool as well, if you can get up to 50 charges, maybe it can shut it down, up to 50 combo. But to be honest, it's not a really hard fight, it's just a long fight. So it can be a little bit tricky, but just be aware of that. Like, so you can't just bring Ronan in and cheese this guy because he's going to be debuff immune after a few stuns. You can't just bring someone who's going to sit there and bleed him all day long. Although I feel like it might be, he might not be immune to damaging debuffs, he might be only immune to non-damaging debuff, but just be aware of that if you're finding that fight a little bit tricky. So then you get to the boss, and the boss is a little bit tricky. He's a Red Hulk with backup recovery. He's got Buffet and Toxicant, so he's got a chance to poison you, but also with the Buffet node, it means he takes off the debuffs and regens. So you want to bring someone who does not rely on debuffs. Now I'm going to test 3 options: She-Hulk, Quake, and Void. My thinking with She-Hulk, even though she's very low level, is that 1, she's poison immune, so she's not going to get that poison, and 2, her Fury is passive, so it's not really a buff, so it won't get nullified. Unfortunately, she's only rank 3, and I don't play very well there, but I can see the potential, because I could build up to 3 charges there. I was poison immune, and if you can get into a nice rhythm, you can eventually build that up and just cycle through the SP1, hit him, cycle through the SP1, and be doing more and more damage as you go through, and never have to worry about the regen. The second option is Quake. Now, unfortunately, I'm not a super amazing Quake player, and I already started this fight off on the wrong foot. But Quake could be a valid option if you're particularly good at playing her, or you have a high level Quake, like maybe like a 5-star rank 3, or if you're lucky enough to have like a 6-star version. Because with the way Quake plays, you're never going to touch him, so you're never going to get the poison. So all you really care about is just evading his hits. Unfortunately, I don't do a very good job there. So then my final option for this was Void, and Void does it again. I mean, Void is always doing work on Red Hulk, and this is no different, particularly when he is on the Buffet node and when he's got enhanced regen. What we want to do is we want to get the Petrify charges up, and then play around with his regen. The one thing to note is that he can put a poison on you. So it's not just open game. You can't just go in and fight super aggressively like you normally would, otherwise you will get poisoned and you will die. So the way we played around here, this is particularly if you have the Pacify Mastery, which reduces his ability accuracy by I think 30% when he's stunned or debuffed, is we're doing parry, and then we're only going to do a 3-hit combo. We're going to do parry and 3 lights. So there we go, or a couple of lights and throw the SP. But mainly through the fight, you'll notice that I only parry in 2 hits, either 2 mediums, or I do medium and 2 lights, or I do 3 lights, with the main aim of just getting to that SP1. Sometimes I'll take my chance and I'll take my odds. If he throws an SP and I'm very close to 1 bar of power, then I'll evade his SP and maybe I might take a couple of hits and throw that SP1. But as you can see, I'm really letting the Petrify do all of the work here and reverse the regen, and we get very lucky with RNG. We don't get too much poisons and we're able to finish this with the 4-star Void. So if you're struggling, hopefully this helped you out if you're struggling with these 2 fights. And yeah, just show your support and subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment, and we'll be back with the next chapters. Ka kite ano, bros and girls.